Okay, so what are we doing today? Let me see what I am guided to do today. I'm guided. Okay, so I think this is going to be personal. This will be like journaling. Okay, so I'm guided to talk about something personal. And this might be happening to some of you because sometimes we think that what we are doing was not right, or what we are doing, it feels like what we are doing there is something wrong, and that the decisions that we are making are probably wrong because of the ongoing events which seem to be making us go backwards until we realize that it was nothing but a test which we had to pass, because we are always being tested for our resilience and our perseverance towards whatever we are trying to manifest, towards whatever we desire to have. And so we will always be tested on whether we really deserve to have what we are desiring to have. So my ex started all sorts of ways to start manipulating me, and I was like, why was this being allowed? Because events were unfolding as how he wanted them to be, because I was made to go in line with how he wanted it to be. The plan was that I was to be taken to the presence of his parents, whom I had been avoiding and I alienated myself from, putting up a strict boundary of no contact for almost a year and a half now. And just when I'm thinking I was getting somewhere, whoop, there goes down the drain my efforts. Because that alienation had to be broken. I was forced to go and face them. And I was thinking that all my efforts were going in vain, but that was not the case. And I'm thankful for all the physical and spiritual support from all who love me, because I was feeling like I was losing my ground. Well, anyway, I had to play their game, and I took the grandchildren to visit them because it was a special occasion. And the father was not around to come and take them for visiting. He made it in such a way that he arranged it in such a way that he was not going to be around in any way. And during this special occasion, he was supposed to spend time with the kids, but that didn't happen, and the kids didn't see him in any way. So it is really astonishing that they seem to keep having misfortunes on them one after another, and yet they still go about in the same way. And I was intent on no contact at all, but this time I could not get away from this. So I had to decide whether sit back and put over whatever they were doing and get angry and get upset about whatever they were doing and have the whole community rekindle all the gossips about me, or play along with their game and shut them all and make them swallow back their words. So I chose to go right into the middle of the war zone in their own vicinity. And I guess my ex thought I would not dare to do that. He thought I would chicken out. The day before, he wanted me to do a responsibility which he was supposed to do, and I refused. But this time, I decided to do it for the sake of God. And I had some healing to do as well, because I had to do heart chakra healing as well. And that was forgiving. And so it was okay. Let me get my physique right where they could all see me, and I leave the unpredictable to God and just go in line with good intention for the sake of God. Because whatever I was going to do was not for them, but for the sake of God. And this is what we are supposed to be doing all the time. Whatever you are doing, do it for the sake of God, and you will get nothing but goodness from it. But when you do it with an intention with other intentions, those other intentions are just temporary. But when you do it with the intention for the sake of God, it is long-lasting. And with that said, so it was meant to be a visit for the sick as well as a holiday celebration, visiting family members from my ex's side, because I don't have my family members around here. And so the mother had been operated on both her knees. The father, just a week before, was at the emergency for heart attack. And the nephew had a motorcycle accident. And it was like a chain of misfortunes happening all over to them, all of them. And yet they still went about with their malicious ways. And and this nephew had just been admitted from hospital. So it was also overwhelming. Leave alone that they just had just lost recently a few family members, some neighbors. It was also almost like chaos, because just one of their relatives, who was their neighbor, divorced and left the city and went to another city. They went back to their parents. Another neighbor just suddenly died. Then there was another time, there were some family feuds and the police had been called, and it seems like there seems to be some kind of a chain of events happening, negative events happening all over, and I didn't want to get involved in any of it, so I was staying away. And then my ex's mother's sister passed away. The mother's niece had been having miscarriages and at long last had a baby, but only to lose her father this time. And then another relative was having balance problems, always on and off, taken to hospital, and for a long time was medicated, and they couldn't find the diagnosis. I had visited the relative a few weeks ago because she was one of those people who looked as if they were supporting me. Only I couldn't understand why she seemed to also join in the misfortune, and I sort of got my answer when I visited her this time, when I took the kids to the grandchildren afterwards. Anyway, we sort of have different views towards how life should be lived, and that just taints away all the good image I thought I had for her when I visited her. Anyway, I could not make it for other relatives because we came home at midnight from all the visiting, but it was a good change for us. And I was reluctant about doing that, and I was starting to doubt myself. Only I got clarity now as I reflect back to the experience, and I realized that I was being tested to be able to forgive, because there is no way you can have peace with your heart if you don't forgive the bad feelings that you hold in your heart because of the how do I say this? Because of the oh my God, why can't I press this? I'm trying to press pause, but it's not pausing anyway. Because I had to clear all the bad feelings which I had. Oh my God, what's going on? Okay, I'm back. Somebody rang the doorbell and there's no one. Anyway, I hope I don't get caught anymore. Anyway, I was being tested to be able to forgive. Although they tried very hard to derail me from my separation decision and were offering all kinds of ridiculous solutions of why or how we should reconcile with my ex. I tried to remain calm and not lash out anything that might create tension. So instead, I made it clear to all of them that I forgave all that had happened, and I clearly stated that I held no grudge to any of them, even my ex, and I totally understood each and every one of their actions towards me. But I was not willing to go back. And the funny thing is, again, I was being gaslighted to feel guilty for what I was doing, and they refused to think that they could have done anything to hurt me in any way. And all I could do was just say, it's okay. I do not expect anyone to be forced to accept what they did not want to accept, and I was fine with all that. And it was their choice. And that I would stand my ground and continue my decision. I don't know if anyone has ever had such kind of a situation, because it was really draining kind of an experience, but I thank the Most High for allowing me to survive that experience. And I come home in one piece and feeling much better, although I was really shocked for what I had the guts to do. And I'm thankful and grateful that my elder kid, she was being a great support over it and trying to encourage me to go about it. And I'm thankful that I did not allow them to think that there was a chance, like the way they tried to manipulate me into thinking they were. And I hope nothing but good comes out of it. No one even talked of exactly what could have driven us to that stage. All they did was just ask, I forgive, and were trying to make it seem as if I was exaggerating about everything and they had always supported and done nothing. I could only laugh and shake my head in dismay as they say that, and they still went on and on. Anyway, I'm thankful I came back in one piece. One of the ways a narcissist would punish you is by using their absence, and that was what my ex was trying to do. So I would think it was difficult coping without him, and then I would call him back. But I'm not thinking of doing that in any way. And yes, it's really difficult, because he used to do most of the things, everything almost, especially anything to do with outside the house. For a while, he has been running away from his responsibilities. And one way I understand, because he claims to be looking for ways to get by, to earn money to keep us going by. But that the way he was going about it was sort of unnecessary, because he went to another city and has not been able to spend time with the kids because he's working 24/7. And the one day he was holidaying, he had all other reasons why he could not come, and I guess I will just have to allow that to just pass and act indifferent, because it's just what he used to do when we were married. So there is no change in any way. It's almost the same thing. We hardly used to see him, and he always had a reason to be away. It's just that they are looking for reasons to make me feel guilty and point out that I'm the reason why things are not working out the way they are, and that I'm the one who should make the first step and forgive and go back to the marriage. But I can't see myself doing that in any way, especially after the therapy. And I'm not able to get in touch with my therapist. I don't know what's happening, because there was a day I left my phone home, and I hope nothing happened, because I'm suspecting he might have just called and said something hurtful or something. I don't know, but I hope nothing like that has happened, because I'm not getting in touch with her in any way. But I know very well that I'm not to blame for whatever uncomfortable thing they have, because the mother was trying to make me believe that the thing that she was facing, her legs, having problems with her legs to be operated and whatever, as if she was all trying to point it to our separation, that she was feeling sad for us and all that. But when we were married, she still had leg problems. So I don't think it has anything to do with us. They chose to go that way, and they could easily make things pleasant if they wanted to. But they're just sticking to their ways. They just didn't want responsibility, and that is their choice. And I make my choices too. And may the Most High guide us all to do the right things always, and allow us to live our lives peacefully without codependency. And we associate with the right people who follow the Most High in the right way. And I say Amen to that. So if by chance you feel like you're being punished for doing the right things, just know it is just a way to heal you from some kind of a toxic attachment that you still have. And that way you are supposed to learn to forgive and love unconditionally without prejudice. Because that day, that's what I realized, that I still had some sort of a grudge which I had to heal from. And when you start forgiving and sending out love unconditionally, this opens the doors to a new you and new beginnings, which get blocked if you still hold grudge to anything in the past. In order to receive new beginnings, it is necessary to keep our hearts open to receiving and allowing the new to come. But when you still hold grudges and anger and sadness and anger, you block the new tidings from entering your life. And that's why we always get delayed. And that's the tactic that the enemy uses, always creating conflict and chaos in our lives to distract us from healing. Because when you heal, you open out new doors. Each time you heal, you're opening out a new door. And that way, when we say later on, and we should keep repeating, I allow, I accept, and I deserve. I allow, I accept, and I deserve. I allow, I accept, and I deserve. As we move forward, we are more open to receiving glad tidings in the shortest time as possible. Otherwise, we will get delayed. So outside forces can do whatever they wish as much as they could, as long as you keep releasing the negative and forgiving and sending love. You are the winner over all of them. And that sums it, to show that it is upon us to make some things happen for us by telling the Most High that we are ready and open to change. And I hope this helps, because that mere experience made a great difference of how I had been and how I was later on. It felt like I was freed from a very huge, heavy burden, and a burden that I didn't know I was still carrying. And just because I was staying away did not mean that I was healing the way I was supposed to be healing. And sometimes you just have to go in and face all your fears in order to properly heal. And that was how I was guided to heal myself. And I'm always thankful and grateful for all the guidance to this day. So hope this helps. Until next time, take care everyone, and God bless.